6E, properties of exponents. So recall that exponents signify repeated multiplication. So if I have y to the 6th, this y is called the base. And then, of course, 6 is the exponent. I expect you know that. But when I see that, it's going to tell me to take the base, y, and multiply it times itself 6 times. So we get that. So example 1, write each in expanded form. I have 2 to the 5th, so that's going to be 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, so 5 times. B, a little bit more complicated. You need to think a bit about it. I have 3x to the 4th. The base on this is just the x, and it's the x that's raised to the 4th power. So this is 3, just 1 3, and then times x times x times x times x. So remember that the exponent only goes with the one thing that it's next to. That's the base. Same thing is going to apply here. Even the negative is like having a -1 times this m. So this is going to be a -1 times m times m. So only the m is the base raised to the 2nd power. Example 2 says expand and simplify. So I have x squared, which is x times x. Then x to the 4th, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's my x squared, and here's my x to the 4th. So all in all, I have 6 multiplications. So that base of x is raised to the 6th power. All right, which is going to lead us to the product rule that says that if I have x to the nth power times x to the nth power, it's going to be equal to, so let's look at this up here. Notice that I have a 2 here and a 4 here. And what happened was that these got added to a 6. So 2 plus 4 is 6. Notice the base. You keep the base the same. So the base was x. This base is x. And I'm going to have 6 exponent. So here I'm going to keep the same base of x. And then the exponents will be m plus n. So when applying the exponents rules, you want to make sure that you keep the same base on it. So don't change it. Don't say it's like x squared or 2x's. It's just x. So let's use these rules in example 3 where it says simplify each expression. So I have 2 squared times 2 to the 5th. So I'm going to keep the base of 2's. The base is the same, 2, and I'm going to add my exponents, 2 plus 5. So that's going to be 2 to the 7th power. A lot of times you're going to multiply this out, but a 2 to the 7th is pretty big, so we'll just leave it 2 to the 7th. This next one, again, you see here I have the y's. The bases are the same. So if I were to add these two, I'd have y to the 1 plus 3, and then times y to the 4th. So that's y to the 4th times y to the 4th. And again, same basis, so I'm going to add the 4 plus 4, and I'm going to come up with y to the 8th power. You could also add, understood, I didn't really emphasize this, if there's not an exponent, it's understood to be a 1. So again, you could have just added these all up and got 1 plus 3 is 4, and 4 plus 4 is 8, and gone directly from here to here. C, kind of got one in there. On C, I've got several bases and several exponents. So when I do this, I know that multiplication, it's all multiplication. I can use the commutative and associative properties. So I'm going to rearrange this and multiply my numbers in the front. So 3 times 5. And then I'm going to put my like bases. So then I have a squared times a. And then I have c to the 10th times c to the 10th. So now I'm just going to multiply 3 times 5 and get 15. For my a's, I'm going to add my exponents. I have 2 and an understood 1 there, so that gives me 2 plus 1 is 3. And then for my c's, I have 10 plus 10 is 20. And that will simplify to that. D, I have, this time I have a variable up here. But notice my bases are the same, and I'm multiplying. So since I'm multiplying, I'm going to do n, and then to the x, I'm going to add those exponents, x plus 2, and that's as far as we could go on that, but we can't add those exponents. Same thing here, the m's have the same base, so, and I'm multiplying, so I'm going to add the exponents. So I'm going to have the 2x minus 1 plus the 5x plus 2, and that's going to simplify to 2x plus 5x is 7x, and negative 1 plus 2 is a plus 1. All right, so at this point, I want you to stop and try these and then pick this up on the next video.